Welcome to the Urban Cowgirl Show. Well, we are placing our irrometer into my test site for eventual Timothy hay planting in September. I've got a whole list of instructions that we just read. They are on the internet, irrometer.com. I did buy a 1/2-inch water pipe with T connectors, and Everett is trying to get it into the soil. Now, Timothy hay only has about 2 inches of root, so I got a short irrometer. We had to prepare it with the green liquid. We're putting it in a place where it's pretty sunny and yet gets irrigated, because we did turn our irrigation on a couple days ago. We have all this temporary PVC irrigation. And I am going to summarize all of the important points to us.
So it was put in an angle because we're not going very deep, but we need to get the whole tip in the ground. So they suggested an angle so that you don't go too deep and still get all of the tip into the ground. A gopher conveniently made some dirt so we could pack it up around the opening here. As suggested, you're supposed to seal the top of the hole up with dirt, which we've done. Next thing is we're going to create a vacuum again on it.
Create a new vacuum. Okay.
So I need the vacuum pump. And we're going to need to do this for the next 2 or 3 days to make sure all the air is out of
Okay.
the tube.
The next 2 or 3 days. This is all in irrometer.com. 6 steps to getting your irrometer installed properly and maintained. And it's a 951 area code for contact info by telephone. The grass you see here is just cover crop. And the buttercup has not come back. We weed whacked it and then rototilled down 2 or 3 inches, and the buttercup has not come back. But we had a whole yard full of buttercup a few months ago. Okay, can you just, one thing I think that was hard, we couldn't get an answer right off the bat, but Everett figured it out, how to get that vacuum out of the tube when you were at the laundry room sink.
Well, actually, the problem I was having is I just poured the solution in the top reservoir, expecting it to flow down into the bottom tube, which it's supposed to do, and it creates an airlock. So I discovered that if I have the unit at an angle as I was adding fluid, the air was able to work out as the water went down the small hole into the tube. Made it easier to get the air bubbles out.
Okay. All right. So now, if we maintain this properly for the next few days, we ought to be able to come out here and measure saturation or what?
I haven't read that part yet.
Okay.
We got it installed, and in the next 2 to 3 days, we come out daily and create a new vacuum on it, and that is to make sure that we've gotten all the air bubbles out of the tube. And after that, we can start taking readings, apparently.
Okay. All right. And we'll keep providing information on this issue on the Urban Cowgirl channel. Well, here is the irrometer 3 days later. It's on 10. After irrigation yesterday, for a while it was on 0, which is, according to the instructions, we think means that there's plenty of moisture. Now, Everett is doing what we've done every day since we installed it, because instructions say do it for a couple days. And Everett, explain what you're doing.
We're going to create a vacuum on it up to about 80 or 85.
Okay.
The reason that they explain for that is to make sure you've purged all of the air bubbles out of the tube.
Okay.
Simply place it on top of it, pull it a couple times. We're getting a reading of about 85. There's a little tab right here to break the vacuum.
Okay, great.
Let it down, and it says to do it 2 or 3 times. So
Okay.
the second time. And the third time.
Okay, now this is a weekend tomorrow and Sunday, so we're not going to do it. And I will observe to see if it appears that the aerometer is working okay.
There's no need to do it anymore. This was just for when you first put it in the ground and you first fill it up with the liquid, is to ensure that there aren't any air bubbles in it.
Okay.
Pulls them out. So we do not need to do this anymore. We just put the top back on. You go in the instructions, you rotate it until it touches, and then turn it a quarter of a turn. Whoops, the whole thing turned.
Okay.
So,
now, it looks like it's on 0 now, and yet we didn't change the moisture content. What do you think about that?
The 0 is because you removed the top.
Okay.
That breaks the vacuum.
Oh, okay.
So it has to reestablish a vacuum, however that it does that.
Okay.
That part I don't understand.
We don't understand some of this yet, but we're taking it one tiny baby step at a time. This is Sonia Sokolow, the urban cowgirl, trying to use an aerometer to measure moisture in my little test site here for Timothy hay planting in a couple months. This right now, what you see is just ground cover, and we have temporary irrigation that is turning on by a timer at this time. We're in the house now, reading our pamphlet, trying to understand how to read the aerometer. Okay, so far, Everett, what do you understand from just reading the pamphlet? We do have a phone support number if we need it.
Okay, since the camera's been off, I've read that there should be, in areas that dry quickly, you want to read maybe 3 times a week. And then I just further read that, let's see, in areas where there are extreme daily fluctuations in temperature readings, temperature comma readings, the reading should first be taken the first thing in the morning, especially during peak water use.
Well, we're in West Santa Cruz. We're within 6 miles of the ocean. We have fog in the morning, and then it gets sunny, and then it can get warm. So I will start trying to take the readings of the aerometer early in the morning. I am a mathematics teacher, so I know how to keep a log and chart a bar graph. I'll try to, or a frequency graph. I will try to keep track of it in writing. And we will continue to study this manual as necessary to understand what our aerometer is telling us. We will call the 951 number if we have to, but I prefer to learn from the written materials and not have to use the telephone. And so that's what I'm going to do. Do you want to add anything more, Everett, on what you're skimming now? How are we going to know whether or not my soil is adequately wet where we put the aerometer?
I don't know the answer to that yet. I'm sorry.
Okay, we're still studying. And so I'm going to just, as time permits, because we have other things to do, we'll study it, maybe call the 951 number. It's several months before I'm going to actually plant my Timothy hay in September, so that's okay. We are using technology here, and there may be young farmers or old farmers who would like to use this technology too for their larger fields. So we're trying to make it easy to do, easy access for those who want to do it. And I am a very educated teacher and trainer. As a matter of fact, I would like to train the trainers about technology for the farming community. And I have submitted a grant to beginning farmer and rancher development program to do so. But I won't know for months whether or not I receive that grant, and I won't be able to start the work until December. So on the way there, we will do as much as we can to educate anybody who's watching my Urban Cowgirl channel videos. And here is what I just did with my Pinnacle software. I brought what I had already uploaded. I will add the video from today, upload that, keep in touch with people who want to learn from my videos on farming in West Santa Cruz. And we also are trying to farm carrots humanely without killing any of the carrot predators, and there will be a segment on this video to bring you up to date on how we're trying to do that here at Shadrach Farms. Trying to keep you up to date on our carrot farming here at Shadrach Farms. We're getting a little bit of growth. We are watering it, as you can see. I hope you can see. Unfortunately, the sun is in the lens. Let me see if I can go over here. We water it with sprinklers that also water our pasture. We also water it with hoses on the ground. So I'll keep trying to show you our progress. Sorry, I don't have a tripod. But we are getting there. We haven't killed the slugs and the snails. We're avoiding them as best we can, especially with copper-covered pipes. Well, here it is, my irrometer on June 29th, shortly after irrigation time. And here is the irrometer contact info, which we did have to contact because we really didn't quite understand what these irrometer readings mean here in this test site for my Timothy hay, which I'll plant in a couple months. You can see that the cover crop is doing very well. The buttercup hasn't come back. We have a temporary, easy to construct PVC irrigation system. And we want to be ready to go at the beginning of September to plant the Timothy hayseed organically. Are we doing the right preparation? Well, I guess our harvest will tell us. The irrometer dial is a little less than halfway between 0 and 10. The irrometer is just a couple inches into the ground. Because of the Timothy hayseed, we think roots no more than a couple inches into the ground. I come out here every day. I see that before irrigation, the irrometer level is usually a little higher, like closer to 10. After irrigation, it is about where you see it now. And the irrometer number that we called is in Riverside, and the voice number is 951. Trying to see what the number is. 951-689-1701. And after a little bit of a wait, we did reach a human being who was a consultant. So I recommend that you follow my UCC program about organic Timothy hay farming and organic carrot growing, which I'll show you next. Well, here's the carrot plot, and this is an exciting day for me. I see lines of carrots there on the north side of this plot, not so much on the south side. Let me see if I'm getting this in video. I'm doing this myself without a tripod, but you know, better some film than none. Oh, and here comes the irrigation. which automatically turns on, and we also have drip hose in here, which automatically turns on. And Laura, who planted this carrot seed for me in this plot, is keeping me abreast of whether or not there are predators coming in and eating our carrots before we get to pick them, eat them, and give them to our livestock. We are growing them organically, no pesticides. We did have to use some steel wool on this white PVC that's covered with copper taping, because last year it worked, it seemingly did. This year it wasn't working, so we were advised by the garden company, well, clean it up, use steel wool, and Laura did that. Okay, well, we do have some carrots coming up in our organic carrot plot here in Shadrack Farms, and I'm just trying to keep you up to date on both the carrot plot and the Timothy hay test site. That's all for today. Sonia Sokolow, the Urban Cowgirl. My carrot farming partner at Shadrack Farms notes the following. North row seedlings planted 1 month ago. South bed seeds will be planted in July. In spite of the ongoing issue of herbivores, crop is doing much better than last fall's crop, maybe because copper tape was cleaned with steel wool, periodically manually removing slugs around sunrise. Less rain and irrigation water. Sowing seed more thickly. Springtime bird predation on slugs and snails. Adding layer of sand to keep most slugs away from seedlings. Delayed weeding so that the herbivore eat weeds instead of seeds. Longer days, and warmer temperatures. Well, that's a lot to say very quickly, but that's in a nutshell what we've been doing here. Well, this little segment is called Teen C Carrots. We've got a wonderful 2-3 rows of carrots coming up on the north side of this carrot plot, it appears. But then when we pull them up, the carrots are teensy-weensy. We're not sure why. I'm carefully feeding the greens, at least, to my horses, because I'm a little bit worried about them being full of fructin. I know grass can be full of fructin this time of year. But can carrot greens be full of fructin? I'm going to have to look that up on Google. Fructin can be a danger to horses this time of year. And it can exist in grasses that look totally harmless. Fructin can cause laminitis, which can be very, very deadly. And vet medicine knows little what to do about it. So, okay, Teen C Carrots. We'll keep you posted on our organic carrot plot here at Shadrack Farms. Thinning the carrots very well may allow the remaining carrots 2 inches apart to be less teensy. Progress report. See that our north carrot tops are looking really good. Thinning them helped to add size to the carrots as we pull them up. The south side is still full of weeds on purpose because we feel that the predators, the snails and the slugs, will go for the weeds before they'll go for the carrot tops. It is now almost the end of July. Pretty soon we probably will do another couple rows of carrots with greens here on the south side. And this is Shadrack Farms, Sonia Sokolow, the urban cowgirl and farmer, reporting in to give you progress on how we organically grow carrots here and hay without harming any animal predators. Well, today is July 26th. My irrometer is at about 14. My ground is pretty wet, but not too wet. My ground cover is growing so well that I'm going to have it weed whacked again. In about a month, I'll probably consider planting my organic Timothy hay seed here, probably with no-till. just weed whack down the ground cover and distribute the seed, watch the irrometer, let my dogs come down here and enjoy this yard, and then report to anybody who's viewing my urban cowgirl shows about organic farming here at Shadrack Farms. You can keep up to date with my attempts to grow carrots and Timothy hay organically without causing discomfort to any herbivores or any animals. We all need to learn how to coexist, even if it takes a little extra labor. Well, it's October 2014, and you see that our strip, where we harvested some really nice carrots this year, is empty. The soaker hose is there for maybe the future. This strip is just still full of a lot of weeds. What we're doing very carefully this time of year is we're using containers to plant our seedlings, 3 different kinds of carrots. And I'm going to the containers now to show you. They're uncovered at this time. They're labeled, and we hope to be able to transplant them later. But in the meantime, we're not going to let the critters, eat them up before they become carrots. See more at www.urbancowgirlchannel.com.